Hello and welcome. You're watching the news. I'm Giriraj. Coming up ahead on the show, the suspense over who will be the BJP's new chief ministers continues. Hectic parleys taking place in Delhi. We'll get you all those details. Also, Revanth Reddy is sworn in today as the first Congress chief minister of Telangana. Well, let's take a look at the headlines. In a big development, India's envoy to Qatar met with the 8 ex-Navy personnel who are on death row. The MEA says the consular access was granted soon after Prime Minister Modi met with the Qatar Emir in Dubai. Telangana gets its first Congress chief minister. Revanth Reddy took a victory lap with Sonia Gandhi before the oath taking. As he was being sworn in, a poll promise was fulfilled as the barricades around the chief minister's residence in Hyderabad were removed. And the suspense continues over who will be the BJP's new chief ministers in the states of Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. Amit Shah meets Prime Minister Modi for a third time in 3 days. Vasundhara Raje called to Delhi after muscle flexing. Our sources say the BJP likely to go with new faces. The wife and brother of the Karni Sena leader who was shot dead have accused the state government and directly attacked former Chief Minister Gehlot of not providing him security despite a threat perception. He's mentioned in the FIR. Chennai and its neighbouring districts still grappling with the aftermath of Cyclone Meghjom. The Defence Minister conducts an aerial survey, meets the Chief Minister. Schools and colleges to remain closed. Our top story now, in India's envoy to Qatar met the 8 ex-Navy personnel who've been sentenced to death in October. This meeting took place on Sunday and was revealed by the External Affairs spokesperson Arindam Bagchi today, who said the meeting took place on the 3rd of December. Now, the ambassador's meeting with the sailors has been seen as a big positive step, one that addresses concerns over consular access to the 8 naval personnel. And the meet is also being linked to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's meeting with the Qatar ruler on the sidelines of COP28 summit in Dubai.
Prime Minister met the Emir of Qatar in Dubai on the sidelines of COP28. I think he put out a tweet. My understanding is that there are good conversation on the overall bilateral relationship as well as on the well-being of the Indian community, as he said. There have been 2 hearings. As you know, we filed an appeal, as is from the families, and the detainees had filed an appeal. 2 hearings have since been held. Meanwhile, our ambassador got consular access to meet all 8 of, in prison on 3rd of December. And as I said, this is a sensitive issue, but we will continue to follow, and whatever we can share, we will do so.
Well, let's go across to NDTV's Kadamni now for more. And Kadamni, that's a hugely, positive development that finally India got consular access to these 8 men.
Well, after the appeals, the 2 appeals which India had filed, after that 2 hearings have taken place, and this is the latest consular access which India got. It had earlier got access twice, and this is how the legal process has gone on. And India has said that it will do whatever it can so that all these 8 ex-Navy personnel can come back home. Now, it is very important because this appeal was very necessary to take forward the legal process, but that does not mean that other avenues are not being explored. What we understood from the case and whatever has been spoken today by the spokesperson of MEA, that not only the legal process but other efforts are also on. Now, what are the other efforts? There was, it seems that PM Modi had a good conversation with the Emir of Qatar on the sidelines of COP28. So we would have to think that this is one of the issues which had shocked all of us, because 8 ex-Navy personnel were sentenced to death at the court of first instance in Qatar, and since then the effort has been on to do everything to bring them back home. So the political connections are one thing. Then there is also the matter of pardon, which is an accepted form over there. The pardons usually take place during some festival, be it Eid or even on national days, so that is a tradition as well. So what we understand is that every process is going together, and all efforts are being not only legal but also the political and the other efforts are on so that these men can come back home. And this is happening since the whole matter came to light, but these men have been in prison in Qatar since August 2022.
All right. Thanks so much, Kadamni, for joining us with all those details. Now let's focus on Chennai. Chennai and its neighbouring districts are still grappling with the aftermath of Cyclone Migjom, including stagnant water and power outages in some parts of Chennai. Today, Defence Minister Rajasthan Singh was in Chennai. He took an aerial survey also of the flood-hit northern Tamil Nadu. Later, he held discussions with the Chief Minister M.K. Stalin over the extent of damage due to the cyclone. Also, it's been announced that schools and colleges will remain closed there tomorrow as well. So there you can see even now a certain rescue and relief work is taking place, and this is several days after the cyclone hit Chennai. Even now, certain areas remain waterlogged, and power outages are also being reported in certain parts of Chennai and its neighbouring districts. And as you can see, many questions have been raised about the manner in which Chennai dealt with the cyclone and the immense amount of water that was brought in, many comparing it to 2015, some saying perhaps it was even worse. But for the moment, the focus is really on rescuing those who are most vulnerable, who need it the most, and also restoring power in many parts that remain without power there. Well, let's just take a look at this report.
"97-year-old Venkateswaran didn't eat well for 4 days at Chennai's heavily inundated Madipakam, despite a 4,000 crore stormwater drain covering their area. Without electricity in their house, his family couldn't prepare the mashed rice in liquid form he requires. His wife tried her best to mash it manually, but he wouldn't take it.
We are worried about the weight loss. Already I think he must have lost weight because there was last 4 days there was no food.
Prasanna, a small businesswoman, tells me she fled her home just before Cyclone Migjom approached. During heavy rains in November, there was no waterlogging at this chronic hotspot. However, this time, her family's lifetime savings literally down the drain, including a car and 2 delivery vehicles worth 7 lakh.
For this upliftment, we spend 4 years. So you just imagine it. So again, we need to push and work at again 4 years.
Residents are outraged that they were left to fend for themselves when there was neck-deep waters here. This senior citizen Murali Krishnan's oven heats up after 3 days. He's angry that no politician or officials showed up when the area sank.
They will not be able to take the wrath of the people, because what they have promised is that there will be no water stagnation. Water will drain out as soon as possible. I think they don't have the guts to come out of places.
Finally, food and water being supplied from the 3rd day, and officials in interior areas. They argue access was just impossible on day 1. The government says without the stormwater drains they built, Chennai would have seen a disaster.
First day was very difficult for us because of accessibility. The rainfall was there continuously for the whole day. Next morning we have been able to mobilize men and material, and from that we have been working continuously in this area.
While only a scientific investigation would establish if the 4,000 crore stormwater drains project failed the city, the public perception is the government machinery certainly failed them this time. The situation brings back memories of the 2015 floods. The big question, did authorities fail to rise up this time? At Guberan Nagar in Madipakam in Chennai, With Suresh, Sam Daniel, for NDTV.
But now let's take a look at some visuals that are very worrying. Layers of oil have been found in inundation at Arnavur. In this viral video, the area has oil refineries. The police are tracing the origin. Let's go across to Sam to understand, more about these visuals. Sam, what are the police saying? What is happening here?
Based on this video, Gargi, released by actor Vijay's team, his fans, police have confirmed that in this particular inundated area at Ernaur in northern Chennai, layers of oil was found in this area. Based on which they are now trying to trace the origin of this. They suspect this oil could have passed through the Buckingham Canal, which passes through several industrial areas including oil refineries. At the moment, no case has been registered, but the visuals certainly appear to be worrying. Maybe in a few hours we will get some clarity. I've also tried to speak to the CPC, the Chennai Petrochemical Industries spokesperson, and they're trying to check the video and get back. At the moment, no formal response yet from them.
All right, so waiting that formal response, but worrying visuals there. Thanks so much, Sam, for joining us with all those details. Well, on to the big political news of the day. In Telangana got its first Congress Chief Minister and second Chief Minister ever. Revanth Reddy, who was sworn in today, took a victory lap with Sonia Gandhi before the ceremony. A lot of symbolism in that. The first file Revanth Reddy signed after taking over as Chief Minister is to fulfill the 6 guarantees promised by the Congress in the run-up to the elections. And meanwhile, all his challengers within the Congress party are now his teammates. Uma Sudhir reports.
Yanamula Revanth Reddy ane nenu శాసనం ద్వారా నిర్మితమైన
Revanth Reddy has taken oath as the first Congress Chief Minister of Telangana.
తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్ర ముఖ్యమంత్రిగా నా కర్తవ్యాన్ని Patti Vikramarka మల్లు.
Those who had staked claim for the top post, Patti Vikramarka is Deputy Chief Minister.
Uttam Kumar Reddy ane nenu
and Uttam Kumar Reddy is Home Minister.
శాసనం ద్వారా నిర్మితమైన
The team includes 4 Reddys, including Komatreddy Venkat Reddy and Ponguleti Srinivas Reddy, 2 from backward class, Ponnam Prabhakar and Konda Surekha, 2 from scheduled caste, Patti Vikramarka and Damodar Raj Narasimha, Tribal Woman Minister, popular as Seetakka, Jupalli Krishna Rao from Velama community, Tumala Nageshwar Rao from Kamma, and Sridhar Babu from the Brahmin community. Not looking at the speaker or the ministers through the caste lens or community lens alone, but I must mention that the Muslim face is something that's lacking, which is a talent that they could induct subsequently, because their faces in Hyderabad, whether it's Mohammad Azharuddin from Jubilee Hills or it was a Feroz Khan from Nampally, both of them had not been able to win the election. Neither was Mohammad Shabir from Nizam Urban. He has been a very senior minister and earlier in the Congress cabinet, and he had vacated his Kamareddy seat, in fact, for Revanth Reddy to be able to take on KCR. The first file signed by the Chief Minister was to fulfill the promise of 6 Congress guarantees to the people of Telangana. The second file was to give the first government job to 38-year-old Rajni, a postgraduate job aspirant. Even as the oath ceremony was underway, the iron fencing around the Chief Minister's official residence was being demolished. Revanth Reddy said from now on, Pragati Bhavan becomes Jyotiba Phule Praja Bhavan.
ఇయాల ఈ వేదిక మీద నుంచి 4 కోట్ల తెలంగాణ ప్రజలకు ఈ రాష్ట్ర ముఖ్యమంత్రిగా మీకు మాట ఇస్తున్నా. ప్రగతి భవన్ చుట్టూతో ఉన్న ఇనుప కంచెలను బద్దలు కొట్టి.
For the Congress, it was a showcase of the only victory they have had in elections in 5 states. Except Derek O'Brien from the Trinamool Congress, it was a no-show from other India Alliance partners. Revanth Reddy came to the LB Stadium in an open car cavalcade with Sonia Gandhi to reiterate that it was thanks to Sonia Gandhi that Telangana was formed. In Hyderabad with camera person Nagraju, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
A political blame game in Rajasthan over the murder of Karni Sena leader Sukhdev Singh Gogamedi after his wife has now blamed former Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot and the state DGP, claiming her husband had asked for the state protection after threats, but that none was provided. But police sources have pointed to the 30 cases against the Karni Sena leader and suggested that this was a case of gang rivalry. Also, his funeral took place today.
The funeral of Sukhdev Singh Gogamedi from Jaipur to his native place in Hanumangarh, 335 kilometers away. Crowds lining the way, anger and shock at the killing. Leader of a right-wing outfit, the Sri Rajput Karni Sena, Sukhdev Singh Gogamedi's daylight murder in the heart of Jaipur has also raised questions about law and order. Gogamedi's wife and brother accusing the state government and directly attacking former Chief Minister of not providing him security despite a threat perception.
आज सुखदेव सिंह उनका निशाना बना है, कल आप में से या मेरे में से भी है। मैं आप लोगों के सामने बयान भी नहीं कर सकती, मेरे ऊपर क्या भी थी मैं बयान नहीं कर सकती आपसे.
But Sukhdev Singh Gogamedi's history sheet could have worked against him. From 1994 till 2016, Gogamedi has 30 criminal cases registered against him, from kidnapping to murder, abduction and extortion. And for Rajasthan, just coming out of an election, Gogamedi's brazen murder has also exposed the social and political fault lines in the state.
देखिए, पिछली सरकार के समय से जिस तरह से राजस्थान में गैंग वॉर्स पनपी हैं, डिफरेंट गैंग्स के बीच में युद्ध शुरू हुए हैं और राजस्थान को अराजकता की अग्नि में धकेला गया, ये उसी का दुष्परिणाम है.
देखिए, ये जो हत्या हुई है ये बहुत गंभीर मामला है, इसलिए तुरंत सरकार को एक्शन लेना चाहिए. इस वक्त सरकार कांग्रेस की नहीं है, सरकार बीजेपी की आ चुकी है और सख्त कार्रवाई करने की जरूरत है.
The Rajasthan police has formed an SIT to investigate the case and arrest the accused. The police have identified the two shooters who carried out the killing, one Nitin Fauji, an army man on the run, and the other Rohit Rathore from Nagaur, who has a rape case against him. And in Nagaur, some headway as the police picked up a youth who had travelled in the bus with the shooters towards Nagaur after the murder. With Harsha Kumari Singh in Jaipur, Parmeshwar Bava for NDTV.
Now, Union Minister Giriraj Sings' allegedly derogatory comment over Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee shaking a leg with celebrities has drawn a sharp retort from the state's ruling Trinamool Congress. There were protests held today in Kolkata as well as in Delhi. Giriraj Singh, however, has denied insulting Mamata but said he stood by what he said.
The women's wing of the Trinamool Congress protesting against Union Minister Giriraj Singh's comments on Mamata Banerjee, also demanding his resignation. The Trinamool believes this is an issue where it can take on the BJP, as women voters have always been a constituency that has supported Mamata Banerjee, and this is something that the Trinamool is portraying as an insult against women.
As Trinamool MPs protested in front of the Gandhi statue inside Parliament today, the Trinamool Mahila Congress protested in the party stronghold Hajra More in Kolkata. Not very far from Mamata Banerjee's home.
The very fact that Kolkata is a secure and the safest city proves this point, because West Bengal government, Mamata Banerjee and West Bengal people are very progressive and see men and women as equals. She's a woman chief minister. So look at the office that he is attacking. You're attacking a woman who is an elected chief minister.
In an interview to NDTV, Giriraj Singh denied insulting Mamata but said he stood by what he said.
मैंने कौन सा गलत कहा? मैंने कहा आप जश्न मना रही हैं जहां गरीबी हो, बेरोजगारी हो. महिला नेता के खिलाफ थोड़े दिया हूं, मुख्यमंत्री के खिलाफ दिया हूं.
आप अपने बयान पे कायम हैं.
और बयान कौन सा दिया हूं? जो बयान वो जश्न मना रही थी तो मैंने कहा जश्न मना रही हैं.
Determined not to let the Mahua Moitra issue hijack its parliamentary agenda, the TMC feels the Giriraj comment is a good weapon to attack the BJP with. In Kolkata with camera person GD Shankar, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
In international news, Russian President Vladimir Putin has made a rare trip abroad to the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia. He first visited the UAE, and then Putin and Saudi Arabian Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman held bilateral talks in the Saudi capital. So what is the significance of this trip? Kadambani reports.
President Putin is on a rare visit. Now let's get the context. There are two wars on, Russia-Ukraine and Israel-Hamas. There are strong reactions and divisions about both of them. And in the midst of all this, Russia's President Putin is on a rare foreign visit. He has barely left Russia since March, when the International Criminal Court issued him an arrest warrant. He did not go to BRICS in South Africa in August and the G20 summit in September in India. Remember, he did not come to India to take part in this multilateral platform despite a very strong relationship with India. So the rare trip is to Gulf states, to the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia. Putin was greeted in the UAE with a full cavalry escort and motorcade, while a national aerial aerobatics team drew the Russian flag in the sky with smoke trails. Putin told UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan that their relations have reached unprecedented levels. Trade and oil will be on the agenda in the UAE, that's what he had said. It was in the release by Kremlin as well. The Russian president later travelled to Saudi Arabia to meet the kingdom's de facto ruler, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Now, during a brief televised sit-down chat, Putin invited the Crown Prince to visit Moscow. Putin said nothing can prevent the development of our friendly relations and that it was important to exchange information and assessments on current regional events. The Crown Prince said bilateral cooperation had helped remove many tensions in the Middle East. Now, de-escalation in the conflict between Israel and Hamas and that conflict in Syria, Yemen, Sudan were on agenda of talks both in UAE and in Saudi Arabia. So, Kremlin officials have also announced that Mr. Putin will meet Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi on Thursday to discuss the war in Gaza. Now, why is all this happening? Why this rare visit? Now, all this to project Russia has influence over these areas and undermine the West's attempts to isolate it. That's one single point agenda, and that is what we are seeing here happening in the Gulf states for this rare visit by President Putin.
And finally, a special report. Navigating an unfamiliar place is uniquely challenging for people with disabilities, even more so when you don't have the use of eyesight for spatial information. But Tiffany Brar is looking to change that. As part of the initiative Samarth by Hyundai, we travelled to Thiruvananthapuram to meet Tiffany, who holds workshops with the visually impaired to teach them how to navigate everyday spaces.
Tiffany Brar has proved that blindness is not a barrier, and now the disability rights advocate and founder of the Jyotirgamaya Foundation is on a mission to help those with visual impairments become self-reliant and independent. This echolocation workshop, the first ever by the Jyotirgamaya Foundation, is part of that mission. The workshop and indeed the foundation itself are born from Tiffany's own experiences of being excluded and discriminated against because of her disability.
That's what blind people always, most of us were taught to have a low confidence. I mean, our parents would say, no, udhar nahi jana, gir jaoge. No. I think the first words I learned was no, because I continued hearing my parents say that.
Let him hear the direction where the...
During this workshop, blind participants were taught how to make use of sound in order to gauge their surroundings, which is called echolocation. This echolocation, along with cane techniques on busy roads and in parks, will enable them to identify various objects only by their echoes. The workshop is just one part of the varied and multi-utility vocational training that Tiffany and her team provide.
Here we train visually impaired people in mobility orientation, computers, use of Android and iPhones, Windows, Linux, interpersonal skills and English. We accept students from all over India who wish to learn these things. It's a 4 to 6 month fully fledged training course.
I've been hearing about this thing called echolocation, and I thought I should check it out, and that's when I came to know that Jyotirgamaya is organizing this workshop, and I thought I should give it a try so that I can become more independent, because being independent is what I value the most.
Our outdoor spaces are not designed with accessibility and mobility in mind. People with low or no vision are often at risk of getting seriously injured while crossing streets or navigating roads with potholes and ditches, and the injuries are not always just physical.
These kind of things really affect us mentally. Like we're like, should we walk on the road? Should we not? Now people like Tony and me and a few other people would say, okay, to hell with it. We'll continue. We'll walk. We'll do whatever it takes. But we need to get there. But there are many people who are closeted inside the four walls of their house and who don't know mobility.
It is for those people closeted inside their homes that Tiffany and her team seek to create a space of learning and growth. For almost 7 crore Indians living with blindness, it is a harsh reality to have to adapt to a world that doesn't adapt to their specific needs. But these barriers aren't just physical.
It's not just infrastructure. It's the attitudinal barrier. People have to be useful. They have to be made to feel that they are useful. That acha tum ye karo, tum wo karo, just like anyone else, just like any other employee. We just need some adaptations.
A born fighter, Tiffany has refused to let her disability either define her or limit her. Through her Jyotirgamaya Foundation, Tiffany has helped train and empower countless blind people, earning her awards, accolades and recognition. That degree of independence and self-belief is what Tiffany wants for other blind people in India, and this workshop is just the beginning.